you got to produce some pretty fast competitive athletes in order to put yourself in the ranks. In order to win Division 3, like you got to be ultra competitive, serious athletes who work hard. Like, where does that emphasis on development come from to get these athletes who are finding baits, want to be there, and then you're actually, you and the other coaches and the program around you are helping to get them to the point where they're able to compete at the highest level within their specific division. Like, where does that emphasis on
Yeah.
development and getting these athletes up to speed come from?
Well, when you go back to the ownership aspect of it and the fact that they themselves are very invested in what they're doing, and then we talk about development. I think there's a nuance to development that I'm not going to say that I realized this early on, but I have started to see that if I'm going to find the advantage in being understaffed and overwhelmed with athletes, there's a difference between me, like the coaches, forcing development or letting development happen. So what does that mean? What that means is we now have a number of years. We're probably a decade into having the athletes themselves are doing most of the, I don't know that I should say coaching, but they are working so well within their own boats and their own teams. There's a lot of care that happens on the team. I as the 3 seed in the varsity 8, have to care about the guys that are in the fourth 8. I have to care. I can't just be like, well, I'm in the V8 and that's what matters. I got to put all my effort into that. Yeah, of course, a huge amount of your effort's into that. But if you don't care at all about the guys that are in the fourth 8, then whatever you've worked towards is going to dwindle the day that you're gone. And it's going to dwindle quickly. So I think that it's not just that I'm forcing development. Like, every fall, we're going to get 8 solid weeks of just miles and miles. And I'm going to develop all of you. I'm going to make you all better. It really has more to do with, I have to provide the atmosphere by which you are developing each other, or the team alone I'm letting the team develop itself. Once that sort of philosophy really kicked in, that's when those big championships started to occur. The women's team won that first NCAA championship, and we were in the dirt floor, pole barn, no electricity, no water, right? So there was no glamour at all. And if one of my stump speeches was, I put all the money on the racks, as in I'm going to get the very best possible boats that I can get for you, because that's the thing we need in order to perform on the water. And if I have to start a generator, if I have to run up the hill in the dark in order to start the generator so some lights come on so that we can actually get the boats into the boathouse, I'm happy to do that if it means we have a higher quality boat. So reminding myself to be a custodian for this team and for our facility, just as much as I am the head coach and the face of the program in that sense. Everything that I do needs to be focused on providing an atmosphere for this team so that it can develop itself. And I think that that's where we've been for a while, which is, it might sound like I'm trying to relieve myself of responsibilities and things, but really that's the reason we can have a program that's 4, 5, 8s deep on both sides, because there's no way I can talk to all of them. All right? Even with 3 coaches, you can't talk to all of them enough and give everyone the time that they need. But they get a lot of time with each other in the dining hall, or the erg room itself, or in the vans between campus and the boathouse. They're getting a lot of time together, in the libraries, or even in their dorms and off-campus houses. They're sitting around talking about rowing all the time, which is educational in so many ways. If you have a junior sitting there and shooting the shit with a freshman at the dining hall, and you're sitting there for an hour and a half at the end of eating a big meal after practice, that's something that I can't do. I cannot provide that education that is being passed along from the junior to the freshman. But over time, we've created that atmosphere where that is able to happen, and that's something that I think we're pretty happy about.